Hi, good day. So for today, we are going to talk about balancing redox equation in acidic and basic solution. So sometimes acids and bases can participate in redox reaction. The question is, how are we going to balance those redox reactions that happened in acidic or basic solution? So let's go first with acidic solution. Let's have here this example redox equation. Sodium pyrophosphate plus chlorine gas will yield to sodium perchlorate plus phosphorus. Now, the very first thing that we're going to do here is to dissociate ionic compounds into their ionic forms and indicate their charges. Use periodic table of elements to know the ions' charges. So for this equation, we have actually here two ionic compounds, the sodium pyrophosphate and the sodium perchlorate. And therefore, we are going to dissociate them into their ionic forms. And we will have here sodium with a charge of positive 1 according to periodic table, and pyrophosphate ion with a charge of negative 4 still according to periodic table, plus chlorine gas will yield to, again, sodium with a charge of positive 1 according to periodic table, and perchlorate ion with a charge of negative 1 still according to periodic table, plus phosphorus. The next thing that we are going to do is to remove the spectator ions and indicate the charges of all elements. Now, what are spectator ions? Spectator ions are ions that did not participate in redox reaction and maintained its initial charge. If oxygen is attached to the ion and it is a spectator element, do not remove it to the ion. Now, let's go back with our prior equation. We have here sodium with a charge of positive 1, pyrophosphate ion with a charge of negative 4, plus chlorine gas will yield to, again, sodium with a charge of positive 1, perchlorate ion with a charge of negative 1, plus phosphorus. Now, as we can see here, our sodium maintained its initial charge, and therefore, this is our spectator ion. Now, although oxygen here maintained its charge, okay, since it is attached to the ion, in this case, it is actually attached to pyrophosphate ion, and in this one, it is actually attached to perchlorate ion, then we are not going to remove those oxygen atoms. Okay? And we will have here P2O7 or pyrophosphate ion plus chlorine gas will yield to perchlorate ion plus phosphorus. Now, the charge of phosphorus in pyrophosphate ion is positive 5. The charge of oxygen here is negative 2. The charge of chlorine here or chlorine gas here is 0. The charge of chlorine in perchlorate ion is positive 7. The charge of oxygen in perchlorate ion is negative 2. And the charge of phosphorus here is 0. Now, if you do not know how did I arrive at these charges, might as well watch my video about knowing the charge of an element in redox reaction. And the link for that video is on the description box below. Now, next one, balance the elements except for oxygen and hydrogen. Next, determine the elements that underwent reduction and oxidation and form half reactions. So let's go back with our prior equation. This is our prior equation, and obviously the elements phosphorus and chlorine are not yet balanced. So let's go first with the phosphorus. For this one, for the phosphorus in our pyrophosphate ion, we have here 2. And for this phosphorus, we only have here 1 phosphorus. And so to balance this, we're just going to write 2 as the stoichiometric coefficient of phosphorus here. And so we'll have here 2 phosphorus. For the chlorine, we have here 2 chlorine atoms. And for this one, we only have 1 chlorine atom. And so to balance this, we are just going to write 2 as stoichiometric coefficient of perchlorate ion. And so we will have here 2 chlorine, and we're also going to have here 2 chlorine. Now, in this reaction, the one that underwent reduction is the pyrophosphate ion. As we can see here, the phosphorus in pyrophosphate ion has a charge of positive 5, and it turned into phosphorus with no charge at all. Therefore, the pyrophosphate ion gained electrons. On the other hand, the one that underwent oxidation is the chlorine gas. As we can see here, the chlorine in chlorine gas has a charge of 0, and it turned into chlorine with a charge of positive 7 in perchlorate ion. Therefore, it lost electrons. Now, after we derived the half reactions for reduction and oxidation, the next thing that we are going to do is to add the number of electrons gained in reduction at the left side of the equation and the number of electrons lost in oxidation at the right side of the equation. Now, let's go back with our prior equations. So again, we have here the reduction and oxidation. Now, obviously, the one that underwent reduction is the pyrophosphate ion. Now, the charge of phosphorus in pyrophosphate ion is positive 5, and it turned into phosphorus with no charge at all. Now, the question is, how many electrons did it gain? Again, from positive 5 to 0, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Therefore, this pyrophosphate ion gained 5 electrons. However, because we have here 2 p's or 2 phosphorus atoms, then we are going to multiply those 5 electrons to 2. And we will have here 10 electrons. Now, where are we going to put those 10 electrons? Again, at the left side of the equation. And we will have here pyrophosphate ion plus 10 electrons will yield to 2 phosphorus. Now, for oxidation, again, the one that underwent oxidation is the chlorine gas. Okay, from 0, it turned into chlorine with a charge of positive 7 in perchlorate ion. Now, the question is, how many electrons did it lose? Again, from 0 to positive 7, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 electrons. However, because we have here 2 chlorine atoms, then we are going to multiply those 7 electrons also into 2. And therefore, we are going to have here 14 electrons. Now, where are we going to put those 14 electrons? Again, at the right side of the equation. And we will have here chlorine gas will yield to 2 perchlorate ion plus 14 electrons. Now, for the next one, balance the electrons in reduction and oxidation by finding their least common multiple or LCM. Now, let's go back with our prior equations. Again, this is our equation for reduction and this is our equation for oxidation. For reduction, we have here 10 electrons. For oxidation, we have here 14 electrons. Now, what is the least common multiple or LCM of 10 and 14? That's actually 70. Okay? Now, what are we going to do here? Multiply each equation to a number that would lead to the LCM. In this case, our LCM is 70 electrons. Okay? In this case, we are going to multiply our redox equation to a number that will turn these 10 electrons into 70. And we are also going to multiply our oxidation equation to a number that will turn these 14 electrons into 70. And those numbers are 7 and 5 respectively. And we are going to have here 7 pyrophosphate ion plus 70 electrons will yield to 14 phosphorus. And for oxidation, we have here 5 chlorine gas will yield to 10 perchlorate ion plus 70 electrons. Now, the next one is cancel the electrons. Okay, so we are going to cancel these 270 electrons and combine the equations. Now, take note that in combination of equations is reactant to reactant and product to product. So we are going to combine the reactants here and the products here in reduction and oxidation equations. And we will have here 7 pyrophosphate ion plus 5 chlorine gas will yield to 14 phosphorus plus 10 perchlorate ion. Now, the next thing that we are going to do is to balance the oxygen by adding water to the side of the equation that lacks it. The number of water to be added depends on the number of oxygen that lacks in oxygen deficient side. So let's go back with our prior equation. This is actually our prior equation. And if we are going to determine the oxygen atoms in both sides of the equation, okay, for this one, we have here 7 times 7. That's actually 49. For this side, we have here 49 oxygen atoms. And for this side, we have here 10 times 4. And that is 40. So obviously, this side lacks 9 oxygen. And therefore, to balance our oxygen here, we are going to add 9 water at this side of the equation. And we will have here 7 pyrophosphate ion plus 5 chlorine gas will yield to 14 phosphorus plus 10 perchlorate ion plus 9 water. And for the last step in acidic solution, balance the hydrogen by adding hydrogen ion to the side of the equation that lacks it. The hydrogen ion will come from the acid. The number of hydrogen ion to be added depends on the number of hydrogen that lacks in hydrogen deficient side. So let's go back with our prior equation. This is our prior equation. And if we are going to count all the hydrogen atoms in both sides of the equation, okay, for this one, we don't have any hydrogen atoms at all, and therefore, our hydrogen here is 0. For this side, we have here 9 times 2, that's 18. We have actually 18 hydrogen atoms in this side. Therefore, this side is actually the hydrogen deficient side, and it actually lacks 18 hydrogen. And so to balance this, we are going to add 18 hydrogen ions in this side of the equation. Now, where will these 18 hydrogen ions come from? This will actually come from the acid that we actually use in our redox reaction. And we will have here 18 hydrogen ions plus 7 pyrophosphate ions plus 5 chlorine gas will yield to 14 phosphorus plus 10 perchlorate ions plus 9 water molecules. This is now our final balanced redox equation in acidic solution. Now, how about those redox reactions in basic solution? How are we going to balance them? In balancing redox reactions in basic solution, we are just going to do all the 7 steps that we did earlier. Except for now, we are going to add one more step, and that is the addition of hydroxide ion. So for the redox reaction in basic solution, the next step is to add hydroxide ion on both sides of the equation. The number of hydroxide ion to be added depends on the number of hydrogen ion in the equation. So let's go back with our prior equation. This is our prior equation. And obviously, we have here 18 hydrogen ions. Now, because we have here 18 hydrogen ions, and this one is in basic solution, then we are going to add here 18 hydroxide ions also in both sides of the equation. And we will have here this equation. We have here 18 hydroxide ions here, and we also have here 18 hydroxide ions. Now remember that combination of hydroxide ion and hydrogen ion will create water molecule. And so 18 hydroxide ions plus 18 hydrogen ions will create 18 water molecules. And we will have here 18 water molecules plus 7 pyrophosphate ions plus 5 chlorine gas will yield to 14 phosphorus plus 10 perchlorate ions plus 9 water molecules plus 18 hydroxide ions. Now obviously in both sides of our equation we have water molecules. Now what are we going to do here? We are just going to subtract them. So that's 18 minus 9 and that's 9 water molecules. Now the question is, where are we going to put those 9 water molecules? The side with more water molecules will be the side where we are going to put those 9 water molecules. Again, 18 minus 9 is 9, and the side with more water molecules is this side. Therefore, we have here 9 water molecules. Again, 18 minus 9 is 9. 9 water molecules plus 7 pyrophosphate ions plus 5 chlorine gas will yield to 14 phosphorus plus 10 perchlorate ions plus 18 hydroxide ions. This is now our final balanced redox equation in basic solution. So that is how we can balance redox equations in acidic and basic solutions. Thank you for listening and good day.